This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Time for our visit with Jim George. Jim George is the professor of the universe, and this past week he traveled out into the universe, sort of. He went over to Europe, and he's going to give us a report on how that went. And if you have any questions for Jim about maybe your cable, your TV, your internet, your antenna, the reception you're getting, the programming you're getting, I don't know if he can comment on that a whole lot, but anyway, the phone number here is 622-9622, and of course, Jim is also the owner of ACS, the ACS Group, which used to stand for something, and I can't remember. It's been a long time.
American Cable Services.
I knew that. I'm just teasing. Hey, Jim, how good to have you back.
Good morning. Fine. Good to be back.
You got a cold.
I have a head cold. Yes, I do.
Did you get a cold?
I hate to confess that because every time I confess I'm sick, I stay sick. But I have a head cold.
Did you catch it in Europe?
Nope. It's
an American cold?
It's an American cold, true blue. It's a strangle one. It's one of those ones that just locks you in.
So tell us about your trip. You took off from where?
Orlando.
And landed where?
In Gatwick, England.
Is that near anything?
No, it's not near anything. So there's only two airports, and Gatwick is the other one, and the other one you know about. So
what's it called? Heathrow, the other one?
Heathrow. And so, and then the convention was 45 minutes away from either of the airports.
And so what city was that in? The convention.
Yeah, it was in.
So the word London doesn't come up unless you go look at.
You have to drive into London, and it's a long drive. It's about 40-minute drive.
Oh, okay. So where was the convention?
Something Wells, Gray Wells. It's a little small.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the convention center was owned by the Emirates, United Emirates.
Oh, really?
So the convention center was gorgeous.
They own everything now.
Oh, boy.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, they own London.
Oh,
yeah, you should go to Harrods, the world's largest department store, and it's all Egyptian motif, all that columns rising from the ground coming up, with spread eagles and all this stuff. I mean, unbelievable. And all the Egyptian attire and everything, beautiful. There's like 15 restaurants inside this department store.
Did you do a lot of shopping?
We did very little shopping, but we walked into Harrods because it's the world's largest department store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would go see that too. I would love to see that.
I mean, handbags start at $1,000 for ladies, just a little handbag. So it's really everything in London is very expensive.
We wouldn't have anything left to put in it if you spent $1,000 on it.
That's right. There's a lot going on there. And every little restaurant in Harrods was full. We went to like 3 of them just to peek in and look at the menu to see, and just like a waiting room only.
Oh, my.
Saying, man, these people like to eat out.
So tell us about your actual role there. You went there to make a presentation of some sort?
Yeah, I went there to actually learn about over-the-top video, which is a form of streaming video. And a little disappointed because I was... the people I wanted to meet with were not present. The subjects were present, the subject of Over the Top, but the people in the know were not necessarily there. So I found myself attending and then going back to the hotel room and then attending, during the meantime, what are you going to do? Just sit around and wait for the next thing to start? So,
right.
And the exhibit hall was very small, but very busy. So, but I met a lot of different people from all over the world because people come to London, England for these conventions. The next one's in June in Paris.
So tell me what...
Oh, are you going to that one?
My wife would like for me to go to that one.
There you go.
And?
Wow.
Did you go through the channel? Did you do the channel thing?
We did not do the channel. So we were hoping that if we go to the Paris thing,
that would be
then
fun.
we would do the channel. Because they were saying be prepared for an all-day channel thing. This is not something you just take an hour ride over and an hour ride back.
Oh, really?
How are their traffic lights up there? Are they across the street or on the side of the road?
They're very interesting in England. So you're stopped, the light's red. Then it goes yellow. Then it goes green. So it lets you prepare.
Does it do
take off?
Does it do yellow before red also?
Exactly.
Both ways.
So it's red, and then it does yellow, and then it's green, then it does yellow, and then it does red. Yeah, I said, why would they want to give you a warning the light's going to change?
Yeah.
Tell me about the over-the-top video. What is that? What does that mean?
So basically, people have a service, but they want this channel or that channel, and it's not part of your package.
Oh,
so people like me
I see.
or other people have decided, well, we can offer the London channel as something over the top of your existing.
I gotcha. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so what happened is they started offering that channel, and then this channel, and another channel, and so over the top became the main thing. I mean, if you can
So let
get
me
your
ask you
channels over the top, why do you want the main?
Wow.
Yes, that too. But there's a couple of times when, like in today's world, like you have Netflix and Amazon, and then you have a show that only shows up on the paid YouTube. There's a show that only shows up on the paid Hulu, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a couple of shows that seem interesting that win awards, and you want to know more about them. I don't want to subscribe to another service.
Right.
They should make it so you could buy one show. Just watch the one.
They should. I think they're trying to do that with the Game of Thrones or something like that. I think I heard somewhere. I get this magazine called BC, Broadcast Carriers, and
You bring that in sometimes. We get to read
it. It talks about another service like myself, who's going to buy those to you, so you can watch those independently.
You want to take a phone call?
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right, you put your headset on. You got some people who missed you last week. They want to say hi. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yeah, good morning, Jim. Welcome back. I'm glad you had a nice trip. Yes, we did miss you last week. When I was over in London the last time, it was in the late 80s, and that's when telephone booths were still active even over here. Do they still have those big red telephone booths out there yet?
They do, but they still have the big, huge phones in there. In other words, instead of retro, in other words, it's a big pay phone, and the numbers are large. Everything is large in there.
Boy, that hasn't changed a bit then in all these years.
Nope, still haven't. And people were, of course, waiting in line just to take a picture inside that phone booth.
That's exactly what I did back in '89 when I was there. And another thing I had to do was ride one of those double-decker buses. I suppose they still got those too, huh?
They do.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing more interesting and more fun than getting up on top of one of those buses and driving around London.
It was interesting. Everything there was interesting, but would I want to do it again? I doubt it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Well, I'm glad you had a safe trip and welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we were looking forward to hearing from you last week, what you said, and I was just saying this again for the listeners. I know you told me off the air, but you were actually on the plane during the show last week.
Yeah,
so.
because of the 5-hour difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your 9 o'clock was there 2 o'clock, and I got on the plane about 1:33 or something like that.
Oh,
I thought about maybe calling you on Thursday when I was at Abbey Road and saying to you, is there any way you could tape this?
Yeah, I don't know if I could have. Yeah. But that sounds like fun.
Wow.
All right, you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning, Jim.
Yes.
Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
I have a problem with my computer. I don't know if it's a virus or it just needs increase in memory or something, but be operating it, maybe watching news or reading the news. Then after a while it slows down and then all of a sudden freezes up. And the only way I can seem to rectify it or get it going again is I got to shut it off and then turn it on, and then I run a virus, several virus checks, the one that comes with the Windows and the other one that I bought specifically just for my computer. And then I can go back and doing what I was doing. And then, if I keep staying on there for an hour or so, it starts to act up and go crazy on me again. And I'm just wondering if you had any suggestions.
Well, you probably don't remember how many gigs of RAM you have, right?
No, I don't.
Right. Well, it's the RAM, the random access memory, that allows you to open up more than one thing at a time. So you could actually be playing solitaire and just pause it, and you could open up the news channel and read it. Well, that RAM if you don't have sufficient RAM, then every time a cookie, in other words, every time a promoter wants to promote something on that site, they're sending it to your computer, and then your computer is logging that, and even if you hit click and close that down, that information is still present. So you might want to check how much RAM you have and just increase your RAM.
Right. Could I increase, or would it help buying a memory chip? So I understand I can double the memory, and it has the capacity to take out the old stuff and put the new stuff in there in the bottom of the computer. It's a big laptop is what I have. And would that work?
Yes, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to buy the largest RAM you can buy. So let's assume you have a place for 4 slots, and in those 4 slots you have a 1 gig chip in each one, which means you have 4 gig. You could take out those 3 and just put in one that could be 4 gig, or one that could be 8 gig. You'd have to check with the manufacturer as far as how much gig will each of those slots hold. But there's also a way you can just ask your computer. You can right-click on the screen, go down to properties. Any computer geek guy can tell you a lot more than me. I'm not that computer guy. But it'll tell you how much RAM you have, and it'll also tell you what the capability is. And then you want a minimum double. As a matter of fact, if you could max it out, I would say max it out.
Right. Wow, that's... I was wondering whether I had to get rid of it, or I had to replace a hard drive or something.
No, and other than that, you don't necessarily need a virus repellent. As far as a software that would sense viruses, you're probably getting things like cookies and malware. And pardon my, I can't breathe well. I have a head cold, but. That's the kind of stuff you want, and that stuff's all free on the internet. You can get any kind of spyware or malware software free, and believe me, I have mine set automatically that when I turn my computer on in the morning, the first thing it does is go through, checks all that, and then in the background I get a little thing that pops up and says you're clean, or you had 1,230 these, and I just hit clean and it cleans it. Done.
Right. Well, basically, I have a HP laptop, but it's a 17-inch.
Yes.
And I have it basically wired up as a permanent setup.
Yes.
And I do run those things, and I have the Windows 10 on there.
Yes.
It came with, I don't know, Windows 7 or Windows 9, but I was able to actually upgrade it to Windows 10 6 point something or other.
Right.
And I still wind up having these problems. The big thing is I got a lot of pictures on there, and I don't want to lose those.
Well, then download them to a separate hard drive. You can buy an external hard drive, like a 1 terabyte hard drive, for under $100. I would say, $80. And then just download all your pictures onto a separate hard drive and take them off of your computer, and you'll free up so much space.
Uh-huh. Oh, that sounds good. I guess I got to... how about... another thing is, I'm sorry to hold you on the phone so long, but these thumb deals that you stick in there,
thumb
and
drives.
Also the CD disc, if you don't use those, does what you have on them sort of disappear or what?
No, if you have something on the thumb drive, it's there forever. And if you have something on a CD, it's basically there forever. Forever is one of those ubiquitous words. I don't know if what it really means, but every time I've gone back to them, it's always been there.
Right. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you,
Larry, Robin, and Joe, for having Mr. George on on the radio, so we can learn a little bit more each time.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for the great questions. Yeah,
thank you. Bye now.
We're proud of the fact that we have Jim here to answer those questions. I don't think any of us could answer them. All right, we'll take another call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim. Hello? Oh, you disappeared. You want to call back? You are welcome to do that, of course. Got about 10 minutes left. So 622-9622 if you want to call in.
What kind of differences did you notice electronically when you were there at your conference? Were there people from other countries there like yourself, and they were all
unbelievable, the people. When we stood at the changing of the guard, to watch the changing of the guard,
that sounds
everybody
neat.
around us each spoke a different language. I mean,
really?
South Korean, Vietnamese, Swedish. I mean, I told my wife, I didn't believe how many nations were in one spot at one time.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That is cool.
Oh, my gosh.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I have an internet question. I'm on dial-up service with AOL, and I can't get my computer to connect to the internet at all. It just won't connect. And I contacted AOL, and they had me unplug everything, and we ran the dial-up service, and it didn't work. And they said to call the phone company, so I did, and they haven't changed anything. And then they said, well, the next thing is just to call someone to fix the computer if there's something wrong with it. So I didn't know what's wrong with it. It worked okay last time I used it.
So are you connected to are you connected to the modem with a cable, or are you trying to connect to it wirelessly?
Oh no, it has cables. It has there's a cable to it's a desktop.
Right. So nothing's changed. It just one day didn't connect.
It just won't connect. It worked. I think Saturday night was the last I used it, and it worked okay.
And what does it say when you click on? Does it say service now available? Does it say you're not connected?
No, it tries to dial the phone numbers, and there's like 6 numbers, and it doesn't get through on any of them. And so it says to check that it's connected to the phone line,
right?
And that everything's connected, and it is. And I put a new phone line in even, and it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, so there's just too many variables there. One thing you might want to try is put your mouse over your internet logo at the bottom right-hand corner and right-click it, and it will bring up a list of every connection you're allowed to connect to, and see if it says where your AOL is connected or not connected.
What am I supposed to put that over?
Well, there's a symbol at the bottom of your screen on the right-hand side that shows your internet connection. And it will, like if you're not connected, it'll say service not connected. If you put the mouse over it and right-click, then it will bring up a long bar, maybe anywhere from 4 to 8 inches long, and it will show you every device.
I can hardly hear you.
I know your line's very noisy.
Oh.
Yes.
Could that be the problem? The noisy line?
It could be. You could have a noisy line. Yeah.
I didn't have any trouble hearing before. I've heard people say that there's a buzz on the line.
There is. Yeah, you have a bad phone line. That's your problem. You need to call the phone company and tell them that you have a noisy line, and it won't let you connect to the internet either. Don't use the internet as excuse. Use the noisy line as excuse, because we're hearing it and it's very noisy.
That would be like on the outside line, the one that goes on the outside of the phone line?
Well, when they come and check the outside line, their responsibility is over with. They might say to you, your problem's on the inside and you need to call somebody else. But unless you have a service agreement with the phone company, and you probably do, a lot of times on your phone bill, it'd be like $5 a month, and it will say inside wiring, which
I don't think I have that.
Which means they guarantee all your inside wiring.
I have that. Yeah.
I don't think I have that.
Robin says she has that.
Yeah.
All right, well then if you don't have it, they're going to come and test the outside. Let them test the outside first. Once they test the outside and they say everything's okay on the outside, then you can, and it's probably the inside wiring. And it's always something small, believe me. Something can be fixed in minutes.
And who would fix that, I wonder?
You would call a wiring person to come in. There's many of them. I mean, even my company does that. I mean, it's just to test the wiring. But I think what you should do is call the phone company first. Call CenturyLink Believe me, if you're on the phone with CenturyLink and they hear what we're hearing, they're going to come out. Because your phone is noisy.
Oh, because I don't hear it on this end. And how would I reach your company if I need the inside wiring?
It's you have a pencil and paper?
Yes.
854-9795.
Okay, 854-9795.
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
All right, but call the phone company first. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was great, Jim. I'm glad you could help her. She sounded like
Thank you,
such a sweet lady, and that's frustrating when you're trying to use something. All right, we do have another phone call. Good morning, you're on the air with Jim.
This is Sonny again. That for the lady that called. Check your Ethernet cord connections can become compromised somehow or the other. And I found that out through my provider. They told me to disconnect and then reconnect. And worst case scenario, if you have another Ethernet cord, swap it out. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a noisy line.
It was very noisy line.
Yeah, that easily could be the problem. Well, I'm so glad you could help her. I mean, don't you hate it when somebody's saying so sweet and all they want to do is be able to do that one thing they enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
I know. She must be in an area where dial-up is still being used. I mean, it's hard to imagine that she's still on dial-up.
I didn't even know if that was. I didn't know that was still around.
They've a lot of times.
Oh, there's Di. Oh, she's calling you right now.
No, that's me forgetting to turn this darn thing off. Oh boy!
Well, there you go.
I had to take my car in tomorrow and get the radio fixed. I was on my way here, and my radio quit working.
Oh no!
Maybe I hit a button.
I can't hear WOCA.
Maybe I turned you off. I'm not so sure.
So I have to take it in tomorrow and get my radio.
Maybe you didn't pay your radio bill. Maybe we cut you off.
I was hoping it was something small, so I turned the car off, turned the car back on, did this, did that. I said, nope. You know, it's been acting up. Well, now it's quit acting.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, do you have a project now that's coming up?
I do. I'm doing a fiber-to-the-home job. Cherrywood, the new development of Cherrywood on 60th Avenue South, is just breaking ground, and Monday morning we'll start pulling in conduit.
Oh.
And then in about 2 months we'll start pulling in fiber. And that will be one of the few places in Ocala that has fiber to the home.
Oh, my gosh.
So are you a Beatles fan?
Not necessarily.
And this explains why you were just astounded that so many people were there at a crosswalk.
At a crosswalk. And they were crossing the walk, making the traffic stop, doing selfies.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be one of those nuts doing that one day. I want to do that.
Oh, my gosh.
And it says Abbey Road Studio on the house.
Wow.
Little white building.
Well, it's not a house. That's a recording studio.
Yeah.
Wonder if we could go in there. That would
I doubt it.
I don't know. No one tried to even take pictures of the house.
Oh, really?
They were taking pictures of the crosswalk.
That's where that's where they recorded all those legendary songs and albums, you know?
Oh, wow.
The street is
unbelievable.
Yeah, they like the street. Well, it's on the album cover. That's why.
We were so fortunate it only rained one day.
Oh.
And then it rained and stopped and rained and stopped that day. But the other days were perfect. But cold. I mean, like 35 in the morning and like 55 in the afternoon.
Oh, my.
Well, we kept going to the live streaming thing looking for you, but we never saw you.
No. I was there Thursday.
Oh, my gosh. All
right.
Jim, good to have you back. That was fun. And it was so sweet to hear you helping that lady. And, ma'am, if you're listening, if you can't get it fixed, Jim will help you. He'll be back in business. Just give him a day, and he'll be able to help you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
You guys have a great day.
All right. We'll be right back.
Friday, partly sunny, pretty nice with a high of 76 to 80. Patchy clouds Friday night, low 53.